Anyway, welcome. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Right?
No. Go ahead.
Welcome to the Morning Ramble. I'm Matt.
I'm Eric.
And today we've got some topics for you. Eric is the curator of the topics today because if you watched last episode, I can't be trusted.
All right. Well, today we're going to do our first, I guess not last week wasn't our first ever, but today's our first ever movie review. We both watched a movie this week. Give me 1 second. 1 second. All right. You ready, Matt?
Sorry, I've got to kill myself. I wasn't wearing the blindfold.
I'm doing the BirdBox challenge for the rest of the show.
Please don't.
All right, let me get some reading here. So, no. You got to see it. All right, so we watched BirdBox. Matt, overall take.
I thought it was a solid Netflix movie.
Excellent. It is on Netflix, so.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what we all expect from Netflix.
Bless you.
Sorry. But when it came to general production value, the movie had a fairly high production cost as well. I don't know the exact numbers, but it was pretty high. Good stars. They had the guy from Mr. Robot.
Yep.
They had that one actress whose name I don't remember who got hit by a bus pretty early. Spoilers. This is a spoiler review.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Spoiler review. We should have said that beforehand.
She got hit by a bus. And they have Sandra Bullock,
Yes.
who is a big name.
Yeah. So my overall take, I actually started taking notes when I first watched it. I'm not a big horror fan, but I wouldn't put this in the horror genre. I know people were, but I wouldn't. I'd put it as a thriller.
Yeah, that's what I would do too.
When it first started off, like the opening, so for people who haven't watched the movie, if you don't care about spoilers, but if you did, they do that 5-year gap. They're going back and forth between when it all started and when it all happened. I have the IMDb thing up now. Let me just read this real quick. 5 years after an ominous, unseen presence drives most of society to suicide, a mother and her 2 children make a desperate bid to reach safety. So in the opening scenes for when it first started, I got a very like World War Z vibe. I don't know if you've seen that movie or not.
Actually, well, the movie overall had an interesting feel for me. I haven't seen that the movie A Quiet Place, which came out last year.
Yeah.
A lot of people are comparing it to that.
Okay.
But from my experience, I was comparing it a lot to I Am Legend.
Okay, I could see that. There wasn't, it definitely had that kind of, obviously any kind of end of the world apocalypse movies like I Am Legend, A Quiet Place. A lot of people are saying The Happening. People driving to suicide because, So, I mean, that one probably is the most easiest comparison. I mean, my overall take on it, I thought the acting was really good. The guy in the show, I forget the actor's name. The asshole. The bald guy, you know which one I'm talking about if you've seen the movie.
He's the only one who made any sense in the movie.
He is the only one. If everyone would listen to him, everyone would have been alive in that house.
Well, most people. Well, people who were in the house would be alive.
Yes. Yeah, so it starts off, everyone's killing themselves, and then we start off with a group of people in the house. And we're not going to go through every scene by scene. But just overall take, I thought the acting and everything was really, really well done. There were some really cool scenes in it.
It's not my favorite Sandra Bullock picture.
No.
That would be Speed.
Speed, going back to the 90s.
I love me some Keanu.
Yeah. Mine would be The Blind Side.
I haven't actually watched that.
Yeah.
But either way, she was great. Fantastic acting. The guy from Mr. Robot, still don't know his name. Don't really care. He did some pretty good acting. His grand plan to get out of there when he was like, oh, I'll just look at them through a camera.
Yeah, through the camera. And then we found out how that
I'm a genius.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was stupid, but
really the whole time, there's pretty much 2 points I wanted to point out. The whole time I was thinking one thing. I was trying to figure out, I didn't care what the monsters looked like. I didn't care. Obviously, they're a physical being because we saw shadows. We saw things shaking. They do have a physical appearance. Who knows if they look different from one person to another? But the whole time I was thinking, what scientifically would trigger someone's brain to do these things? Like, we had a group of people that were clinically insane who could see them, and they had the reverse effect. They were extremely happy, and they were driving other people to see. And then any sane person was driving themselves to suicide. So there's a lot of holes in that.
Well,
obviously.
from what I was getting from the basic idea, was a H.P. Lovecraft vibe.
Okay.
Because there are some things with Lovecraft where there are like cults over them, and the theme of you look at them and you go insane is a big Lovecraftian thing.
Yeah.
The fear of the unknown is also a big Lovecraftian thing. It pulls a lot from Lovecraft's work, of which I am a huge fan, even though the guy was a huge racist. And he's dead now, so.
Oh, okay then.
That all worked out okay for everyone.
Yeah. Obviously a lot of people are talking about this movie and they're breaking it down. And one thing I just want to reference real quick that I watched, I'm going to put the link down below. New Rockstars. I don't know if you watch that channel or not. They're on YouTube. They do a lot of breakdowns of trailers, movies, shows, and everything. And Eric Voss, the guy who hosts it, he does a breakdown of this, talking about like what could be the possibilities of each scene and stuff like that, and like what triggers people to commit suicide, like sadness or something like that, or biggest fear. Just go check if you feel like you get more information. He has a great breakdown of it, so I'll put that link down below. But the last thing I just wanted to critique on it was the ending. It doesn't really have one. To me, it doesn't.
It was almost exactly the same ending as I Am Legend.
Yes. There's that place that
it was almost exactly the same ending.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we even had a black guy actually sacrifice himself to save the girl, technically, because if you I Am Legend, remember that girl. Man, it's been a while since I've watched that, but I remember he dies in the end. Same thing here. Tom, the other main character, that's with Sandra Bullock's character, he had a really cool scene where he saw it and he still had enough energy left to take out the last person that was trying to kill the two kids and her. So that was probably my favorite scene, because I think that was really cool. But Then
and now it's time for a new segment, Fun Movie Facts with Matt.
Okay.
I'll draw up the logo for that if you don't want to.
Yeah.
The actual ending of I Am Legend is not him checking into somebody with a grenade.
Yeah, grenade punch. Is that right? That's how it was in the movie, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how it was in the movie. They actually ended the movie the way it was ended in the books.
Okay.
And the way it was ended in the books was that the creatures were actually sentient, and literally the only reason they were coming after this guy was because he had kidnapped one of their own.
Oh.
So
in the book, that's how it is.
Yes, in the book, it was actually a very somber ending where basically that character was the monster.
But in the book, were the sentient beings still humans that were transformed into this thing?
They were kind of a new species.
Okay, so they weren't like zombie-ish. Like they weren't people who were kind of turned into the things that are in I Am Legend.
Yeah, it was like a different kind of feral intelligence.
That sounds more interesting than the movie of I Am
Actually,
Legend.
I've read the book. It's very good. I love that ending more. Mm-hmm. They test screened that ending, and it didn't go well.
I think it would have went well if they would have. Would it not have gone well with the same premise, though, that the people in I Am Legend are infected? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See, that ending, and I would understand why that ending wouldn't go well, but if the ending is that these things are sentient and that they're, because of that's what's happening, it would be different. But anyway, BirdBox, honestly, I thought they could have done a lot more. You know. Yeah,
I mean, sorry to pull it back to I Am Legend again.
No,
but Will Ferrell was great in that movie. That's a callback to the last episode.
Oh, great. Now I gotta edit some stuff. Did you notice what I did? You probably didn't. When I did if you watched the last episode, he accidentally said Will Smith instead of Will Ferrell, and I put Will Smith's face on all of Will Ferrell's movies. Did you notice what I did, though, on the one? I put Martin Lawrence's face to see if anyone would notice. You probably didn't notice it.
I just looked at it quick.
Yeah.
It flashed up pretty quick, so.
Uh-huh. Anyway, but...
Was that the one on the back?
No, it was the Sherlock and Holmes one in the top left corner of that one. Go back and check it out.
Easter eggs
in our podcast. That's right. I think they would. I think they should have did more with the creatures in it. But I understand the budget was probably pretty low on this movie, and they're getting a pretty big. I don't know. Would you say they get a big return? I mean, no, it's in select theaters.
Apparently, it's been viewed over 45 million times.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
So, I mean, are people going to specifically get Netflix to watch BirdBox? No. But I will say, for a Netflix movie,
definitely one of the best.
I fully recommend it.
Yeah, if you have Netflix, you should definitely watch it.
We give it like a solid 6, 7 out of 10.
Everyone said 6, I think,
but
and then
really,
yeah.
If it were go see it in theaters, no. But because you're literally sitting on your couch without
if
your
you already have
anyway,
Netflix, or you ever steal someone else's Netflix.
Yeah, just watch it.
One more point about BirdBox before we leave this topic. BirdBox Challenge. I saw this today. This is in our local news, WNEP. This was a couple hours ago. I'm sure you've seen stuff like kids doing weird things, but police say the latest viral challenge is responsible for a crash on a street in Utah. Driver who crashed blindfolded was participating in BirdBox Challenge, and like the whole side of their car here is just completely smashed in. I give them props, A for effort. That they're complete idiot. So,
yeah. Don't drive your car
blindfolded unless you're in a parking lot. Or don't.
Just don't.
Just don't. All right. So that's BirdBox. Maybe we'll review some more movies in the future. Maybe
I'd love to, actually.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I'm feeling Glass. That's what I'm feeling.
Oh, man.
Glass is coming out next
That better
week.
be good. That better be good.
It's going to be really good, or it's going to be really bad.
That better be good, or I'm never trusting you again, Night Shyamalan.
You shouldn't trust him anyway. All right. Okay, so on to let's talk about current news.
Okay.
Government shut down right now, if you didn't know.
Yes.
So let's talk about why that is. So we are on the 21st day of the government shutdown, Matt. If you didn't know, that is the longest in U.S. history.
Uh-huh.
I think the longest previous was under Obama, and I think it was 17 days.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it was. I could be wrong. So today will be the first paycheck that federal workers will receive nothing. I think it's over 800,000 federal workers for the government shutdown. The House currently is being run has the majority of Democrats. The Senate is the Republicans. The House passed a financial bill, where there is no border security, no wall in it, and they want to do that first and then address the wall and the border later. It gets passed in the House. It goes to the Senate. It's turned down because the Senate's run by Republicans, and we're at a stalemate.
Yes.
So that's what's going on right now. It's frustrating, obviously. I know me and you line up on opposite sides of the wall. Sorry. All right, so let's talk. I wanted to talk a little bit about what's going on politics-wise, what people are talking about. So I don't know how much you know, how much you're following it or not. Any at all?
On NPR, I've been listening.
NPR? Okay. So right now, a lot of people are talking about the word declare national emergency is being thrown around.
Yes.
Because Trump mentioned it. I'll get into my opinion in just one second. Today, after Lindsey Graham got out of the meeting, he said that he thinks the president should call national emergency. I'll throw this up. I'm not going to read it all. He just pretty much tweeted out to the president. Mitch McConnell, after the Senate, he said that he is going to block all Democrats to move to reopen the government without the funding for a wall, which I think the asking is like $5.7 billion. So let's see here. So obviously the president had a speech a couple days ago. Says here in a testy back and forth exchange on the Senate floor, Senate Democrats, including Senator Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, called for the Senate to take up legislation to advance the House Democrats to reopen parts of the federal government without the funding, and obviously they said no. From as a Republican standpoint, I don't know if you know too much national security emergency, if the president would do an emergency order. Do you know what that means? What
he gets the power.
Kind of. So he would declare it, and he would be saying that he needs the funding for the walls, for the wall. And I am completely against this.
Yeah.
I don't think we should be throwing executive power around to take money and to use eminent domain to seize land and to do all this. I think it needs to be passed in Congress. That is a big thing with me, not the Supreme Court. If he did it, it would probably get rejected in the Ninth Circuit anyway, and then he would take it to the Supreme Court. But I'm hoping that it doesn't come to that. I know earlier today he said that he wouldn't be doing that. I think it was like 2 hours ago. He literally just said that they're going to keep it in Congress and hopefully it will pass. But honestly, no one's budging. I don't know if you saw the Democrats' response, like Schumer and Pelosi standing up there like they're dead. Did you see that photo online?
Yeah.
Yeah, they look like zombies, like held hostage up there.
I have a difficult time accepting stuff like that because it's like this is one issue that is holding back 800,000 people's pay. And they're still working.
Pretty much. Most of them are.
So when you're working, you get paid.
Yeah. Now, obviously, they're going to get back paid. But as we know, pretty much almost everyone works paycheck to paycheck. So, I mean, I don't know you. I couldn't go without one paycheck.
I've gone without a month of pay before.
Yeah.
And it damn near crippled me. It was...
Yeah. It's tough.
It was a very, very close thing, and if I didn't have close friends around me who were willing to help me out, I might have lost my house.
It's tough, and it's also frustrating when politicians still get paid. Now, there was a couple politicians out there. I know the one Texas senator, congressman, not senator. He said he's not taking his pay until the government's reopened. So there's a couple out there, but obviously not many people are going to be turning down money. So that's what's pretty much going on right now. Before we leave this topic, last week we talked about the wall. We were kind of playing down on it because it's just a crazy subject. But one thing I found this, and I wanted to pull it up to show you. So this is a small breakdown of the federal budget in 2017. I couldn't find last year's budget, but this is the 2017 budget. I kind of want to give a perspective because a lot of people are saying, "Oh, how could we like $5.7 billion for the wall? That's ridiculous."
It's a pittance.
It's not a lot.
Yeah, it is a pittance compared to the rest of the budget.
Yeah.
Which is part of the reason why I find it so frustrating that this is such a point of contention. Now, do I want this wall? No. I don't care about it. And I really care about people's land getting seized. I hate that idea.
Yeah.
And that's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. But ultimately, it is a small fraction of what the budget is. Yeah. Military spending is ludicrously higher than this.
Yeah, so I just wanted to throw some of these numbers out. So obviously, there's two different pie graphs here. One of them is mandatory spending. The other one is discretionary spending. So the biggest chunk of spending is Social Security, which people pay into. So that's about $939 billion. The next one is actually non-defense, which is groupings of different programs like transportation, education, veterans benefits, health, housing. And then the one after that then is defensive spending, which is $590 billion.
Yes.
So Medicare is $591. Medicaid is $375 billion. And then there's an other bracket of $614 billion. What the heck is other, and why is it mandatory? Yeah. Okay, unemployment, compensation, military retirement, stuff like that, I guess, is in the other. And then there's discretionary spending, which is different payroll taxes. It's also interest on our current debt. So, and then individual income taxes. So different stuff on that, which is like 1.6 trillion. So it's a lot of it. So 5.7 billion for this. Now, again, that's not talking about the long run, maintenance, different stuff like that. Not going too far into it again, but people, the Border Patrol says that a wall would help them, So the question is the money most well spent in that? And there's more things in it than just the wall. It's more equipment, updating and technology, different stuff like that. But when I hear stuff like, I think it was Nancy Pelosi and the one thing said, "Oh, who cares? The wall doesn't matter. They'll just build tunnels." Like that shouldn't be your argument. If I was on the opposing side, we'll just build tunnels. What are you talking? Obviously, a wall will make it more difficult for people to cross the border. That's just a fact. Like, you can make jokes about ladders and saws and tunnels all you want. It's still going to be more difficult.
That's true. But on the other side of things, as we do
Yeah.
here in the Morning Ramble,
Mm-hmm.
it is very difficult to become a citizen of this country.
Mm-hmm.
That process is very curvy and weird. It varies from case to case. I think that a more standardized citizenship way, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
We're not geniuses.
No.
But maybe if that was easier, I think that we'd have less illegal people
True.
coming over.
True. I do think that those issues should be separated, though. You know, we should be talking about border security and then also a path to citizenship separately. And I do agree with you. It should be easier. You know, and I just feel like securing the border and then we can take care of, you know, the process. And
Quick, who's the
DACA.
36th president of the United States?
Teddy Roosevelt.
I don't know.
I have no idea. Kind of want to know if I'm
These
right.
are the kind of questions you'll get on a citizenship exam.
Oh. Well,
The
then-
kind of things that most Americans don't know.
Yeah, I don't really understand the whole history part of it. I mean,
I don't
not
get it.
all history part of it, but I do think maybe like, you know, like politics, I guess, like structure of government and citizens' rights and non-rights and stuff like that. Maybe
No, that
should be
makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
How many branches of government are there?
3.
That makes sense.
I got it.
Stuff like that, but
Yeah.
like specific numbers of presidents, it doesn't make sense to me.
No, it doesn't. But yeah, well, I guess we'll see how it goes. Honestly, it doesn't look like it's ending anytime soon. I wouldn't be surprised if we go towards the end of the month. You know,
It
they've had
wouldn't shock
three.
me.
They've had 3 meetings in Congress. I think Trump's had a couple meetings. I know he just walked out of one because he has.
I just got a W-2 and I'm just not even gonna bother right now.
Well, no, I guess it was announced that they are going to do tax returns
Oh,
while the
good for
government
them.
shut down. So I don't know how, because I know IRS has less employees, but that is one thing that they said. All right, moving on from that. I wanted to talk about a story, not quick, but I wanted to talk about a story here that I saw on the news, and it wasn't really talked about on social media too much, and I just thought it was a little interesting. So, decorated Navy SEAL Edward Gallagher to remain jailed ahead of trial for ISIS terrorist death. So, let me give you a little bit of background. I was watching Fox News, and his brother was on. So, Edward Gallagher is a 19-year Navy SEAL vet. Second here. He's a decorated Navy SEAL, and he's now being accused of committing war crimes. Ever since September 18th, I think, of last year, 2018, he's been in prison. Let me just read a little bit here. Okay, so it says here, the decorated Navy SEAL leader alleged to have killed an injured ISIS prisoner of war in Iraq will remain in confinement as he awaits his trial. His trial is set for February 19th, I believe. He's also accused of intentionally firing sniper rounds at innocent civilians, and he's being held at a Navy brig in California. The military judge denied our motion to release Special Operations Chief Edward Gallagher from prenatal confinement, where he has been since September 11th, not 18th. So he's being held. A lot of people are outraged, obviously, his family. From what his brother Sean said on Fox News, he said that the people who are accusing him, there's 3 eyewitnesses. Basically what happened, so there was a bombing and they had an ISIS prisoner. He was injured.
By the bomb?
Yeah, he was injured by the bomb. So according to the charge, Gallagher allegedly murdered a wounded ISIS fighter by stabbing him in the neck and body with a knife. Yeah. The Naval Criminal Investigation Special Service agent was the only witness called by the government team. He said he was investigating the case since April, and I had it all here. Oh yeah, so the Iraqis called an airstrike on a building and then subsequently captured a wounded ISIS fighter. He was only 15 years old. After he was taken prisoner, Gallagher and the SEALs began to help the medical treatment of the fighter, who was having trouble breathing and was apparently hit by shrapnel in the left leg. But one of the other SEAL medics who witnessed this said that he had just been stabilized. He just stabilized the fighter before Gallagher walked up saying anything at all and started stabbing him without saying anything at all, repeatedly in the neck and the chest. This is the alleged offense. He was in disbelief, and then Gallagher posed next to the body, holding his head, and took a photo. And I guess he texted it and said, "I got him with my hunting knife." Yeah, pretty crazy, right? So that's the accusation. And I'm guessing the photo's real from what I was reading. So the question is, did he do that, or did he just take the photo and someone is framing him? Because that's what his brother's claiming. That these 2 other Navy SEALs have had it out for him because he was his commanding officer, and I guess he gave a bad review or something like that.
And he took the photo with the body.
Yeah. He took a photo with the body of the one he allegedly just killed, and they're calling it murder.
Either way,
yeah,
that's
messed up.
Yeah,
pretty messed up.
I don't like if it is, and obviously it's got to be settled in a court of law. Mm-hmm. If either of those things are true, he should face charges.
Yeah, it's. Obviously, with a small amount of eyewitnesses, I mean, I guess it's hard to say if someone had it out for him or not. I mean, he's been on, I forget how many tours they said. It was some crazy number. Navy SEAL, 19 years. If he took the photo, it's not great. Obviously, I think there should be a fine or something with that. But to prove that he actually did that act, because that's like cold blood. Like, he just walks up and just starts stabbing. That's crazy. It's hard because it's murder. I get it's war though at the same time, and I don't know how I feel about it. Obviously I don't like it. It's cold blooded. But is war nice? I don't know. I feel like someone would argue for that.
There are gonna be people who argue it because it was, an ISIS member. Yeah. It was also a 15-year-old kid.
That's another thing. They're saying that it's just a brainwashed kid, and it's not like he was posing any imminent threat. He was already captured. So, I guess we'll just have to see what the court hears and what the evidence is for it. I guess evidence would be the knife, other eyewitnesses other than just the 1 or 2 Navy SEALs that alleged that he did that and reported him. So, but pretty crazy story. Where are we at here? All right.
I'm outraged, but I don't know what I'm outraged about.
Yeah, really, it's weird because it is war. So it's like, what do you, and it is a decorated vet, So it's like not just any vet, like a Navy SEAL vet.
Like decorated vets are the ones who would, they get so desensitized to this.
True.
This
Another
shit.
thing too is like
then all of a sudden they're just like in their head.
He's been doing this for two decades.
That's what you do.
He's been doing it since 9/11. I mean, before 9/11. So I'm sure you get a little bit numb to things.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, I think it's egregious either way, but
what's the punishment for that? That's why I'm glad I'm not in those positions to decide.
Yeah,
that's pretty crazy. So
anyway, did you have another story to go over?
Yeah, let's break down a Facebook post. One was something light. I
wasn't drinking.
All right here. So we're gonna break down I saw this post, someone shared it, and I just thought it was a load of crap, all of it. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to break it down sentence by sentence. I'm not gonna read it all first. We're just gonna read it and then hop in whenever you feel like it. So it starts off here. Rest in peace, America. You raise the cost of living so high that both parents are always at work rather than spending time with their children. Single parents don't stand a chance.
I guess it depends on career choice and where you live.
Yeah, I don't think that it is the country's fault for making both parents work. I think it's our living expectations. You don't need that cell phone bill. You don't need that new car. Do you know what I mean? You don't need that fancy house. You don't need to go out to dinner 6 times a week. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need that $5 coffee. It is tough. I get it. It's tough. Single parents, I think you have to set that aside, though, because, you're more likely to live in poverty and on the welfare state if you are a single parent. It's sad, but
I mean, if you're a single parent and you're working and you're doing everything you can,
Childcare is not cheap.
The fact of the matter is you're not going to have that extra income to better yourself. So say you are working at a Walmart.
Yeah.
And that was the first low-income job that I can think of. Say you're working at a Walmart. Say you're a well-paid Walmart employee, $9 an hour. By the time you get done with rent, electricity, everything like that, childcare, you're not going to have anything extra to go to school.
Yeah.
Now, should that parent be blamed for having kids at the wrong time? No, because situations change.
True. And I'm hoping that if you are a single parent and, you know, you were with someone who you thought you were going to be with and then that happened, that that person is obviously hopefully paying child support. You know? Yeah. But sometimes that doesn't happen.
Very often that doesn't happen.
You know. So, yeah, to me that's a mute point. You took God out of schools. Parents were told, no, you can't discipline your kids. Those two are mute points as well to me. I don't really get it.
You are using that word
mute,
wrong.
Mute point?
It's moot.
Mute.
I
like mute.
Okay, fine.
What's
it's a
moot?
point that doesn't make noise.
Exactly. It's mute. You don't hear it. It doesn't matter.
Moot means that it's just not.
I learned something. All right. It says here, well, America, our kids are assholes. You shall reap what you sow, and we have lost a whole generation and turned them into rude, selfish, disrespectful brats who have no respect for people, property, or authority.
Okay.
I think every older generation says that about the younger generation.
That is how it goes.
I think people said that about the younger generation in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. So, stupid. Not saying I don't think people are entitled. Sometimes I hate the people my age when I hear them talk, but I think that goes for everyone. I think everyone of all ages have stupid opinions.
Yeah, that's true.
You deemed people with terminal illnesses and some with only a few months to live fit for work. Not really sure what that means. Because
I haven't done any research on the topic.
I don't think this person did either.
I'm just not going to react to
it. You allow our veterans of war to go homeless and hungry, but give out millions to foreign aid. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a sad thing that there's veterans that are homeless.
Yeah.
There is funding for that. It could be better.
It should definitely be better.
Definitely be better.
There should be a revamp of the VFW hospitals as well.
Yeah. You save drug this is a point that I wanted to stop on, but it says here, you save drug addicts over and over again, but refuse to give free diabetic supplies. You bend over backwards to be politically correct, too scared to say enough is enough in case you offend. First point, I don't like how they say here, you save drug addicts over and over again. They're saying it like they're not people.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, don't save them. Like,
I mean, there was a huge Narcan debate.
What do you mean? Like that? Narcan's the drug that you use to bring someone out of OD, right?
Yes.
Okay.
They were giving away free Narcan.
Oh, that's right.
And there was a huge Narcan debate.
Like, why would they do that or something like that when they charge so much for like EpiPens? And I mean, diabetes medication is very expensive.
Yes.
And that is an illness. So I see their point there, but to me that's
dehumanizing.
Yes, it's very dehumanizing to compare the two. And I mean, they're both diseases. They're both addiction. Well, one's an addiction, and that's a disease, and the other one is an illness. So, yeah, the way that they said that was a little annoying to me. Offending thing, I don't even feel like talking about it because everyone's offended. You put the retirement age up so high, people must work until they drop. People depend on handouts and food banks while we give aid to others who can work for it.
The average lifespan of people in this country is, and this was from a few years ago, so it probably has changed, and it's probably gone up.
Yep.
So for women, 78. For men, it's 76. We naturally live a little less long.
Mm-hmm.
And that is partially because of, military things dragging down, just different possible health issues, and the fact that men are less likely to go to the doctor when something's wrong.
That's very true.
Yeah.
I think that number will go up, though, as time continues.
Medicine
is getting pretty well.
Right now, early retirement age is 62.
Depends on your profession.
Yeah, normal retirement age is 65.
Also depends on who's saving. You know,
That's true.
I mean, I guarantee that a lot of people our age are not currently saving for 401k.
Yeah, if you are just paying into Social Security,
it is not going to be enough.
And you have extra, I get it if you're living paycheck to paycheck. If you have any extra money, you should really be looking into a 401k.
And a lot of times employers match what you put in, at least for a small percentage. So
generally up to like 3 to 5%.
Yeah, I mean, if you're over the age of, I would say 25, and you have a full-time job that you've been at for a year or two, and you're not looking into 401k, you're doing something wrong. Definitely. And then the last point here, our retired generation rely on inadequate state pensions. There, thanks for working hard. Things need to change. Copy and paste if you have the guts.
I don't have the guts.
I don't have the guts either. That's the thing. If I ever see anything that says like share this or this will happen or whatever like that, you could be sure it's going to stop with me. I'm not going to do any of that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. I think we went long enough.
Well, we've given you guys a lot to think about today.
That's right.
Think about it with the blindfold on. Don't look at the eldritch gods. They'll kill you.
Yep. All right.
Goodbye.
See you guys next week.